This is the Oracle. I'm back online for a new Kaladesh 8-4 draft. It's been a while since I haven't played or uploaded. I was quite busy last week. And this pack is pretty interesting, I think, because the rare and the three uncommons, I think, have a pretty similar power level. I would say that Malphite Doorbuster is the best of the uncommons. And Trafficker, I don't know. I think it's pretty close between Trafficker and Doorbuster. I don't actually know which one is better. First picking Trafficker is kind of cool though because you can build around and make it stronger. Malphite Doorbuster is good no matter what. Like if you have more energy, great. If you don't, it's still a very good card on its own. Tiger is probably one of the best common here. Yeah, pretty interesting pack because there are only creatures. Like yeah. There's nothing else. I mean, there's an Inspired Charge and a couple equipments, but this is a very full of creature pack without any removal. Either way, I took the Trafficker because I think it's slightly stronger than Doorbuster, at least as a first pick. I'm not convinced about that. I think, again, it's quite close between the two cards, but yeah. Now I guess I'm gonna pick Furious Reprisal. Um, some people don't like that card as much as I do, but I very often got a 2-for-1 out of the deal. Even, killing a 2 toughness creature and dealing 2 to your opponent for 4 mana is reasonable, especially since 2 damage can really matter. The fact that you can randomly burn people out with that card is pretty nice. I really like it. I don't think it's overrated. But I don't know, I've seen a lot of pro drafters saying that, yeah, it's not that great and all, but I really, really like that card. I think it's better than the Sky Whale. Um, Wheeler Maker, not a huge fan. I think you have to be playing a pretty slow matchup to make that good. And then the black cards are not very interesting. I don't think so. There's another Tiger. Uh, Slightly annoying, I guess, because the best card we passed from the last pack was a red card, and now we are going into red, so it's slightly clunky. It's not the end of the world though, but it's the kind of things you should maybe think a little bit about, and that can explain why maybe you might not get a bunch of red pack 2 or stuff like that. Not a huge deal though. Okay, we have several black mediocre cards here. Dayong, Make Obsolete Thriving Rat. I think I like Dayong more than these two. There's also a Prophetic Prism, which is really good with Trafficker and pretty nice in the black decks. That being said, if you don't need the fixing and you are playing black, I I think that Metal Spinner Puzzle Knot, the 2 mana artifact that draws you one and deal you one, and you can pay 3 to do it again, is just a better option. Just because you will also draw a card, you lose 1 life, but then you can draw another card later on. I think it's a slightly better option. I think I'm gonna go with Spontaneous Artist here, by the way. Just think that card is quite great and pretty underrated. Aggressive, efficient, I like it. You could pick the Prism, but my thinking here was that if I'm red-black beatdown, I'd just have Metal Spinner Puzzle Knot over the, um, the Prism, and yeah, that I'm not so likely to splash for something, even though it could happen. Here we have several, medium red cards. We haven't seen anything really strong so far, but everything we picked is rather good. We don't have to be black, by the way. Red looks like it might be open. There are still 3 pretty good red cards here. It's quite early in the draft, so we cannot really know, but at least it's not getting cut super hard. While black might be, I don't know, we've seen very few black cards. I think I like Pyro Helix more than Infiltrator, and Infiltrator more than Giant. I'm gonna pick Pyro Helix. At least I like my first Pyro Helix more than my first Infiltrator or Giant, because getting some decent 5 or 3 drop is not that hard, and having, you don't really want to stack up 5, I don't know, maybe not 5, but 3 or 4 Pyro Helix in one deck. It's maybe too much, but I'm really happy to have 1, even 2 in all my red decks. Here I could pick Prophetic Prism, but I think I should just jump into another color, because black doesn't seem very open. And we have 2 very solid pickup in both red and sorry, not red, green and white. I guess Gearseeker Serpent is decent too, but it's not. I don't, even if you like that card a lot, and I think I do like that card quite a lot, I don't think it's better than Pima Outrider or Revoke Privileges. I don't actually know which one is better between these two. I kind of like Pima Outrider slightly more. I don't know. I picked the Revoke Privileges because it's a good rainfall, but maybe Pima Outrider is just a better option. It's close. First decent black card we see here in Tidy Conclusion. I don't really think we want to go back into black. I think Fragmentize and Aviary Mechanics are both quite decent. I could also pick Wildfast Monitor. I think it's better than Salivating Gremlins in general. Not in every deck, but in most decks. At least when it's early in the draft and I don't know what I will end up with, I'd rather pick Monitor over Gremlins. I feel like the white cards are slightly stronger, but not a lot. And picking the Monitor lets me stay more open, so I think it's more valuable at that stage in the draft. Okay, now I think here the best card is Blossoming Defense. Maneuver is fine, but I'm not a huge fan. We saw a pretty late Pima Outrider. I think I'm gonna pick Blossoming Defense, and again, know that I'm red and leave my options open to either play black, white, or maybe even green. But none of the white or red or black cards here are very appealing to me, so just pick the strongest card. Okay. Two best cards here I think are Foundry Screecher and Attune with Ether. Rush of Vitality is pretty good too. I don't really wanna go into black though. Black just doesn't seem open to me. I think I'm just gonna pick Attune with Ether and maybe lean towards a green-red deck, splashing for maybe Revoke for Privileges. I like Attune a lot, and I might want to splash stuff. Okay, so that's the pack we opened, and we wheeled the Screecher, which was a pretty good common from that pack, and the Pilar Bug. So maybe black is more open than I think it is, and maybe it's just that not many black cards were open. I don't know. Since I'm probably gonna be red, I think this deck, whatever I might end up doing, is gonna end up being pretty aggressive, and I think I like Screecher more than Pilar Bug in an aggressive deck, and I like them, more than the. I don't really like Salivating Gremlins, so I think I'd rather pick that. And even if Gremlins lets me stay more open, it's not really a card I like a lot, and I haven't been very impressed with that. I think I'm gonna pick Lookout in case I end up black-red aggro. I don't really care about any other cards. Cathartic Reunion is playable. Scavenger is playable too, I guess. Okay. Good news is that if we open a very good card in a color, we can probably go into that color. And we spend a couple picks in colors or cards that we might not play, but we did not lose match. I mean, when I pick Revoke Privileges, Blossoming Defense, or Attune with Ether, I did not really, give up on a good red or black card. I don't think so. Okay, I think I'm just gonna pick another Furious Reprisal here. Probably don't want more than 2, but 2 I think is fine. Again, I like that card a decent amount. And I'm pretty sure that I'm red, where Rhino might be better, but I'm not sure that I will end up in green. Chief of the Foundry is also an option if you want to stay open. I don't think this is going to be a Dynavolt Tower deck, even though I'd love to do that one day. And yeah, I guess there's Subtle Strike, but I think, if you want to pick something, it's probably Rhino. But if it's not Reprisal or Chief, but I don't think there's any point in going into green, picking a green card when I can pick a very solid red card and stay a bit more open, or a colorless card. I think I like Furious Reprisal more than Chief of the Foundry. I'm gonna go with that. Okay, well the best card here is pretty clearly Aerial Responder. Now, do I want to abandon my black and or green card and just go red-white? Not sure. Could just pick Spontaneous Artist, which is gonna be good no matter what. Again, I'm pretty sure that I'm red. If not certain, actually. Yeah, it's kinda close. One issue with staying open that long is that you might have some pretty tough pick at some point, and this is kind of an important one because if I mess up, it's gonna be bad for the rest of the draft probably. I think you should not pick Tidy Conclusion over Artist because the cards are close enough in power level that I'd rather pick the red card and stay more open. Now, Aerial Responder is really good, so maybe I should just pick that and go into white. I think it's quite close. I'm gonna go with Responder, but I could see that being wrong. Okay, I think here it's a pretty easy Renegade Freighter, as it is probably the best common in the set, and you know, it's colorless, so it's pretty free. I think if it wasn't here, I would probably just pick Glint Sleeve Artisan and just abandon the black thing. Okay, there's a Glint Sleeve Artisan. I think we are moving into white pretty clearly now. There's also a Pima Outrider, which is a better card. But now that I pick Responder, I think I'll end up in white. Okay. Ooh, Veteran Motorist, that's great. Capture by the Consulate is not a good card. It's a trap. I mean, the first time I read the card, I thought it would be great, and turns out that card is just quite bad. So you should not play that unless you have a deck, a very controlly deck, or maybe a deck very heavy with flyers. But as soon as you have a couple ground attacking creatures, that card is just really not good. Wildfast Monitor would be fine, but Motorist is just better, and I need 2 drops more than 3 drops, so I don't think it's a close pick. Okay, we are a little bit short on playables because I picked a couple black and green cards and tried to stay open. But 10 is not the worst. If we can get maybe 4 more playables this booster, we should be completely fine. If more, that'd be good, but it's not looking too bad. Don't really get why those Pima Outrider are going so late. I mean, that card is really good, and I still don't really know if green is open or not. I mean, we've only seen Blossoming Defense and a couple Pima Outrider and nothing else, so I don't know. That card is just amazing, though. So Fragmentize or Wayward Giant. I like to have 1 Fragmentize in all my white decks. I think a 5-drop is a bit more replaceable than a Fragmentize. So I'm gonna pick Fragmentize. I think pretty close in power level, but again, I think if I wanna get a 5-drop at some point, I should be able to pick one, or at least I hope so. In white-red, you have a bunch of 5-drop. You have the Mastodon, the 4/5 artifact. You have the 3/4 flyer, the Harrier. You have the 4/5 vigilance, and you can also just pick some assembly worker. Is it assembly worker? The 4/4/4/5 that fetch other when when it enters the battlefield, basically. So there are enough 5-drop, but I might not get another shot at picking Fragmentize. Okay, Aviary Mechanic it is. Very good 2-drop, so it's nice that we got that this late. I think I like Glint Sleeve Artisan more than Quicksmith Genius, pretty much always. This is not really going to be a deck for Incendiary Sabotage, so yeah. Alright, and we got 3 more good playables. If we get 1 more, we'll be happy, but looks like going into white was a decent choice. We got 2 Glint Sleeve Artisan, a Motorist, a Mechanic Fragmentize. Yeah, I think that was a good call. Might not have worked, but you know, it's kind of a gamble in the end. Could see myself playing Skygate, maybe. Probably not, but I think it's the card I'm the more likely to play. Gremlin is a fine sideboard option. There was an Inspired Charge, actually, which, given the 2 Artisan and the fact that we are aggressive, could have made it to the main deck. I don't know. Well, since we got another Gremlin, it's slightly clunky now, but well, I'm not. I don't think it's very likely that I would have ended up playing the charge, but maybe. We are still kind of short on playables. Like, I mean, Cathartic Reunion is a playable. You can main deck a Gremlin, it's not the worst. Skygate is also playable, even if you are rather aggressive. It's a fine card. Blocks a lot of stuff. Automaton is fine, but it's not looking like an automaton deck. Yeah. So, best case scenario, we can just pick up 10 playables next booster. Otherwise, we might have to play a couple weaker cards from the side, but I don't think we are really in a bad position right here. Okay, two solid uncommons for us, Brazen Scourge and Fairground Warden. I think I like Warden a bit more. I think it's a slightly stronger card, but I think it's quite close too. I like both cards, but no, it's not that close. I think Warden is just better. If we could will Artisan, that'd be great. I don't think it's willing though. The thing is, now we don't really need more 3-drop. We already have 5 cards to play on turn 3. I'm not counting Revoke Privileges. And Warden is gonna be another one. So yeah, we mostly need 2-drop, 4-drop, and 5-drop. I could see myself playing Goggles in this deck. It's a fine card. I have a couple Artificers, I think 3 right now. It's also pretty good with Responder, just because of 3-5 Vigilance, Lifelink, Flying is even. I mean, 2-3 is already pretty hard to beat, but 3-5 makes it pretty much impossible if they don't have the Rimwall. Yeah, I think it's Warden. Okay. Well, there's another Artisan, but again, I have so many 3-drop that I think I should just pick Self-Assembler and hope to get one more. Like, I'm happy to play 2 of these. 3 would be great, but I think I'm gonna pick that. It's kind of a gamble because we might not get any other, but I really don't feel like I need more 3-drop at all. And even if I don't get any other assembler, it might be that one assembler as a 4/4 for 5, it's not very exciting, but it would still be better than a 3-drop, given the curve we have. Biltulas and Goggles are also options, but I think if we can just get one other self-assembler, that would be great, so I'm gonna pick that and we'll try to get there. Okay, some more 3-drops, I guess, some more Artisan. Since we don't really have many ways to use energy, I'm not sure that Shield Guard is better than. I mean, I don't think it's ever gonna be better than Artisan now. We have so many things to cast on 3 that maybe having a 3/4 instead of a 3/3 is gonna be slightly better. And we can actually use the energy from that thing with Spontaneous Artist maybe, so it's not the worst. I don't like the card a whole lot, but I think even though curve is not that important, don't really want to end up with a tree here with a huge trunk in the middle and a couple cards there and there. I'd rather have a more balanced curve, and I feel like, you know, I do have enough 3-drop, but if I start to pick more, it's gonna be a bit clunky and not that efficient. Yeah, there are only 3-drop in this draft, nothing else, just 3-drops. By the way, I don't really love Scourge in this deck because I have double white here, mostly white card and a couple red cards. So I don't really like that. That being said, this is not a deck for Fireweaver. And even in the decks where it's good, I don't think the card is great. So I guess we'll pick the Scourge, but not really what I need. Okay, there's a 2-drop here in Thriving Grabs. That's decent. Having that in the deck also makes the Shield Guard better because you are not so likely to use the energy of Shield Guard with its ability. It's not great, but being able to boost the grabs a bit later on might be good. So yeah, we'll pick the 2-drop. Impeccable timing, Bastion Mastodon. I think I'm pretty good on Rimwall and killing small things. Like most things that timing will kill, I can kill them with Reprisal. I have a couple of Rimwall. I think the 5-drop is a bit more important, and I think I like Mastodon more than Trusty Companion. That's kinda close. Trusty Companion is quite solid too. Pretty good if you can curve Companion into Brazen Scourge. I think I'm gonna go with Companion actually. Okay. Don't really want another 3-drop. And we don't have a lot of vehicles. I think it's just Thriving Ibex, which again makes the guard a little bit better and a little bit more useful. It's not a super exciting card, but I think it's the best we can pick here. And it looks like we will not get another assembler. I think we have one more pick to go, yeah. One more pick to maybe get it. No. There's a pretty late Revoke for Legit and pretty late Gearsmith too. Oh well. I still think it's a better pick than the Artisan. So I don't exactly remember what we can wheel, but I remember that there were some things we could wheel. So hopefully we'll get a couple things. Deck is not bad. I have some strong removals. A decent curve, not great, but decent. Yeah, we really have some good removals, which is great. And then the creatures are a little bit weaker. And I don't love the curve, but you know, I still think it's a solid deck. I don't think I'll play any of these. Though I guess since I'm lacking playable, Pressure Point could be an option as a cantrip. I don't really like the card, and actually I don't want to play against either Theorist, and this is an 8-4, not a league, so I'm gonna counter draft that. If I want to play some sort of cantrip or a card to draw more, I'd rather play Reunion over Pressure Point. I really don't think Pressure Point is very good, especially when you have a decent amount of removals. I don't think I will ever play 2 Cathartic Reunions, so guess I'll pick Blade Master. I don't really care about Windrake when I'm playing 2 Furious Reprisal. A 3 Toughness creature could be slightly more annoying though. Alright. I might just play Fire Weaver because I need something, but it's... Well, I guess I have a couple Greensleeve Artisan. It's just not looking very exciting. Maybe that Torch Gauntlet is just better in this deck. I think so, actually. Yeah, nothing I care about here. Ether Theory should never go that late. It's probably the best blue uncommon. I guess the Serpent is very good too, but Ether Theorist is quite great. I'm gonna just play a Reunion here. It's also slightly clunky because my curve is pretty low. And I could see playing only 16 lands, and I kind of want to play 16 lands, but if I do, I have to add up something not great. I guess I can play a Gremlin main deck. So this is probably going to be the deck. The Mono Self-Assembler is kind of sad, but it is what it is. I mean, I can use a 4-4 for 5 in this deck, I think. Yeah, I think the deck is slightly underpowered just because we spent a couple early picks into other colors and we only knew quite late in pack 2 that we were going to play white. But again, very good removals, decent curve, some... Yeah, I think that the creatures are just a bit small and underpowered, but it's clearly not the end of the world. When you have good removal, you don't need your creature to be that strong because you'll be able to deal with bigger creature most of the time. Regarding the mana base, well, without the Scourge it would be easier, but since there's a Scourge I feel like I have to do just an 8-8 mana base. Which I don't love, but yeah, it's pretty much what I have to do. Don't think I can afford to play in 7 mountains with the Scourge if I want to be able to cast it. I guess in theory I could also play 17 lands and Accomplished Automaton. That seems not exactly something I want to be doing though. But I guess I have enough removal that I can go to the late game and maybe cast that. I think I'd rather keep the deck like that with a slower curve. Almost nothing that costs more than 4 and 16 lands. Monitor is also a red card to some extent, so because you quite often use the ability on the Monitor actually. That being said, given the Torch Gauntlet, which uses mana, the Motorist that can put lands on the bottom, and the Reunion that lets me get rid of extra land, I could just play 17 lands and be a bit more safer. I think 16 is fine in this deck though. Like, too many lands will just be very bad with this deck because especially when you have good removal and bad creatures, you don't really want to flood out because you might just be able to get rid of a couple of creatures. Then they play a 3/3, and you cannot really beat it with what you have if you just draw a couple lands and not enough gas. So I think I'm gonna go with that. Again, I think the deck is slightly underpowered. I don't think it's bad. Again, the removals are great, but it was interesting. Not exactly sure what I should have been playing. Red was pretty open early in the draft, and then we did not get match. I mean, we got a Furious Reprisal. We first pick another Reprisal, but red wasn't actually very open. I think white was quite open. Maybe green was open. Black did not seem very open though. So yeah, either way, that's the deck. Thank you for watching, and see you for round 1.